everything clear? Whatever we have done yesterday, I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay. In case if someone is confused over any concept of phenomena, that is very natural. No need to get anxious. Okay. Because these things are those which will be repeated almost every day. Okay. It will become part of your thinking process. Okay. And also today, most probably by 4:15 I would have to leave because I need to get my second dose of Covaxin. Okay. Second dose is very important because if I do not take second dose, first dose which I have taken would be useless and I will contract corona some other day. Okay, although it is no assurance that I would not contract corona even after second dose, but still. And initially I thought that I will cancel the vaccination. I'll get it tomorrow. But unfortunately, the problem is those people are saying, no, today is the last day. If you do not get it today, nahi hoega. Okay, this is the problem. So, let me come to discussion. In a short while, all of you will get the handouts also. Okay. Nation. Just a second. Just a second. Ji sir. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, I'll be there. Okay, okay. See, actually, I got my first dose from ED office, Enforcement Directorate. So, since people are known to each other, since father is in service, so automatically it gives you an advantage that you no need to get in any queue. Okay, simply just call them, they will help you in getting that vaccine. All those things happen so easily. Okay. So that is why the problem is that if I do not go today for second vaccine, then the privilege is lost. Okay. So although in theory we read equality of opportunity, but that is not the case. Often you get privileges. There is one scholar, George Orwell. He has written one book, Animal Farm. In that book, he says some men are equal, but some others are more equal than others. And this is what you are also fighting for, aspiring for. Okay, to be more equal than others. You will still be equal, but more equal. Okay. हाँ, क्या बोल रहे हैं चैट में? 1984, हाँ, सही है सर. Animal Farm. 1984 is another book which George Orwell has written. Okay, that is another book. I'm talking about Animal Farm. 84 is another book that he wrote. Okay. Basically, George Orwell is very popular scholar. Orwellian surveillance is some phrase that we borrow from him. Okay. Anyhow, let me come to this discussion on nation. Is nation reality or is nation an illusion? Illusion. Phenomenology. Ethnomethodology. The whole concept of nation is illusion. Social order is illusion. This is what they would say. Now the question is how? How it is illusion? They know that whatever we do in our lives is socially constructed. Okay. Nation is also one concept that we accept as true. However, it is not an objective reality. It is only with our acceptance and our repetitive behavior that we come to believe that we live in India and India is a nation. We are part of India, so we are Indians, therefore. Okay. However, you know what actually goes into the making of you thinking that you are part of India and you are Indian? Just a second. B. So, what goes into the making of India? When you were in your school days, see how you become Indian. You will then come to know how India is an illusion. For that matter, how Israel, Palestine, America, these are illusions. This is your first day in the school. You go to school. What happens? For the first time, all you students are asked by the teachers to assemble on the ground right at 8:30 a.m. All of you have to assemble on the ground. Okay, ma'am. चले जाएंगे. Right. All you guys, when you got assembled in the ground, national anthem started. Everybody has to recite after me. Janagan Dinayak Jaya Hai. Acha, this is the first time that I recited anything like this. Now, second and third and fourth day onwards, this will become very normal to me. Okay, Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravid, Utkal, Banga, all these are parts of India. We are part of India. And the next period will be of history. History teacher will tell you the father of nation is Gandhi. Who is this? Nehru. Who is this? Ambedkar. Who framed constitution? Ambedkar. We are India. What actually went into the making of India? Nationalist movement. Are you nationalist? Yes, ma'am. Nation created. These were the steps. These were the steps that were followed to create nation. Now, when you have attained the age of 25, nation exists? Of course it exists. Yeah, you idiot. It exists. How it exists? Arey, look at the map. You are located here in Delhi. Delhi is what? Capital of India. And you're asking what nation exists or not? This nation, this map was also shown to you during your childhood to make you believe that you are located here. Here, okay? You are located here, and this part actually belongs to territory. This is our territory. We have just demarcated. In India, we are India. India has been created. India as a nation, not just India, the concept of nation is socially constructed. You are made to believe every day. This is known as banal nationalism. These are performances that you do. या फिर ऐसे करके खड़े हो. जय हिंद. जय हिंद. Will you fight for India? Yes, sir. Do you have courage? Yes, sir. Go fight against Pakistan. Yes, sir. He lost his life. Martyrdom. People get emotional. We lost great Indians. The nationalist consciousness is developed amongst all of us. We lost heroes. Now, during the war, you will start feeling those, reverberations throughout your body. This is how nation has come into existence. Why do you want to become IAS officer? I want to serve my nation. But we take this thing for granted that nation exists. Gender. Now you will come to understand the application of these theoretical perspectives. And after a period of time, when I will teach you politics, religion, these things will be, cakewalk for you. Gender. Real or illusion? जेंडर रियल हो गया अरे जेंडर कहां से रियल हो गया भाई Do you guys know the basic difference between sex and gender? Sex is real, gender is not real. Sex is real, okay? Gender is not. And by the way, these theories do not tell us we do not exist, we are not real. I exist. These theoreticians are not rejecting my identity or your identity. In the sense, your individual body is not rejected by them. What you see is rejected by them. Your eyes exist. What you see through your eyes does not exist. This is what they are trying to tell you. What you see around you is illusion. Gender is also illusion. How? ये कैसे हो गया भाई? ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? अब ये बताते हैं कैसे हो सकता है. I want bread. I'm feeling hungry. I want bread. What will I do? I will go to the shop. Okay. I'll go to the shop. Because I'm hungry, I want bread, I will go to the shop. When I went to the shop, I saw huge crowd, 10 or 20 people, 30 people asking for egg de do, sab ye de do, wo de do. Okay. And I'm getting anxious, I'm feeling very hungry. Oh, yeah. So many people are in queue, what would I do? Then suddenly I will say, hey, एक bread लेके आ. Everybody will look at me. ये कौन है? Basically, I displayed masculinity. I used my masculine power. Hey, bread लेके आवे. Time नहीं जल्दी. ला. Okay. Now, today is Diwali. Let us assume today is Diwali. Okay, what will I do? I'll talk to everyone nicely. Hello, man. Hello, how are you? How are you? अब ये now I'm not saying, hey, इधर आओ. No, I'm saying, hi, how are you? Happy Diwali, Happy Diwali, Happy Diwali. Now I'm not displaying masculinity. I'm displaying emotional aspect, which is generally attributed to women. Okay. Do you know what made me man? Do you know what made me man? It is not the sexual organ that I have which made me man. It is the way I speak. It is the way I speak that makes me man. It is the things that I do that makes me man. It is the bike that I have, heavy one, which makes me feel like that I'm manly. It is the choices that I make in my everyday life that makes me feel that I am man. But on the other hand, I also have female inside me, which I will use at one or the other point. So is the case with women as well. Women are not women because they have sexual organ. Women are women because they have femininity inside them, which they express. They do not express it every time. They may sometimes express masculine behavior as well. Like, for example, if you see a girl riding a bike open in the streets of Delhi, you will be like, Harley Davidson, इस बंदी के पास. She tried to display masculinity. She tried to put on the t-shirt. She tried to look very cool, tomboyish look. Okay, this was the masculine behavior that she displayed. That is a different thing, that you did not accept it as part of what women should be, but she displayed masculine behavior. Gender is fluid arrangements, and we toggle or we shift. In the spectrum has all the range from extreme masculinity to extreme femininity. And I will switch between these identities whenever I would want to. So, therefore, it is not your gender that determines your performance, rather, it is your performance which is going to decide your gender. Gender is real or illusion? Now tell me. Illusion. Indira Gandhi was called as the only man in her cabinet. Why? Anybody can tell she's a woman? Why are we calling her man? The only man in her cabinet. Gender is illusion because he could take those decisions with such proactiveness and with such conviction, which are generally taken by men. And the idea of women that people had in those times actually got disrupted when she became prime minister. And she lived up to the expectations of everyone how a prime minister should be like. And this is what she did. And then finally people believed, yes, she is the only man. Nobody else can take decisions as strongly as she does. Look at the way Smriti Irani, madam, gives speech in her assemblies. Look at the way. You will feel masculine tone when she is speaking with full voice, loud. Okay. You will feel the masculine spectrum that she has entered into when she is talking to her son. When she is talking to her son who has just taken admission in college, he is very feminine, very motherly figure. The moment she enters into assembly to address the audience, she displays masculine behavior. Gender is illusion. Nation is illusion. Sexuality, illusion. Family, illusion. Religion, illusion. Everything is illusion. Okay. Our repetitive performances make us believe that these are objective reality, but we attempt a lot, invest a lot to make every time to make ourselves believe that these things exist. The moment you call your mother, mummy, how are you? Kaise ho? You have constructed family. Family did not exist. The moment you called and spoke like an ideal daughter or a son to a mother, you have entered into roles and you have constructed family. Family did not exist before that. Okay. These performances actually went into the making of what you think family is. Family does not exist. Real is illusion itself. Prakash Raghavan, very nice. But we are not going to enter into the philosophy. Okay. That is very philosophical ideas. Although phenomenology, ethnomethodology, if you have now understood properly, obviously now you would have realized these are those theories which are pushing you very close to philosophical ideas and psychological ideas. But these are part of sociology as well. Such great this discipline is. Synthetic school, it covers everything. I'm talking about illusions, and then finally, I would also be talking about, you know what? I would also be talking about World Trade Organizations, IMF, World Bank. This is also part of sociology. Okay. Everything is part of sociology because we are living in society. Economy is just a part of society. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Just a part, little part. Okay. So I hope everything is clear to you now. Let us now quickly start with positivism and its critique. This is something that we are going to finish in half an hour. And then finally, fact, value, and objectivity, hardly 15 minutes maximum. Okay. Positivism and its critique. Hmm. What is positivism? First of all, positivism is a philosophy. Yeah, it is a philosophy. Of course, everything is philosophy, by the way. Is a philosophy which believes that society, individuals, groups, our thinking, everything basically are governed by social laws. First, remember this thing. Individuals do not exist. So much of importance we have given to individuals in the name of phenomenology, ethnomethodology. Basically, these philosophies actually came as a critique to positivism. Okay, if you remember the flow chart, you will realize that these philosophies got developed later on. Initially, it was all positivism. Okay, this belief society, individuals, or our thinking, everything is governed by social laws. Nothing is in us, or we cannot control anything. Okay. Secondly, it is quite obvious if they are saying that society is governed by law, individuals obviously are part of society, only little parts, they are also governed by laws. So, what are those laws, by the way? August Comte says, law of three stages. Law of three stages define the intellectual thinking and structures of society. Okay, what we think is also defined by law. Which law? Law of three stage. Okay, in those times we used to think Earth is at the center. We entered into scientific era, enlightenment. Now we think no, 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 sun is at the center. In those times, everything used to be explained in religious fashion. You got ill, curse of God, curse of God. You are happy, God is inside you. Everything had religious explanation. Okay, why should I pay tax more than king or more than nobility? God has made this order highly and lowly. Okay, okay, I'll pay tax. Now, third point, let us explain the laws which you already know. Law of three stages. Law of three stages. First is theological stage. It was till 1300 AD. Then came 1300 to 1800, metaphysical age. Then come scientific age, 1800 onwards. Where are individuals, so-called individuals? ये पढ़े यहाँ पे ऐसे. Nothing. They are only parts. Okay, they're thinking everything will be changed as society progresses. The laws make society progress. So their thinking will automatically get progressed. Okay. Governed by laws. Some laws are governing the whole structure of society. Okay. These are natural laws. Just like we have laws in nature. Law of can you see law of gravitation? You cannot see law of gravitation. Similarly, so society also has laws. So what if you cannot see? In nature also, in universe also, you cannot see the laws. Laws are there. You cannot question it. Okay. So laws are there. These are the laws. ये orange color के. Okay. Now, what was the role of laws in shaping the society as those societies were, and in moving the societies further towards a new era, like metaphysical era or to scientific era? What were the role of laws here? See, August Comte says, when you have a static structure, till 1300 AD, nobody questioned religion, nobody questioned God. Everything was status quo, maintained. Order was maintained because nobody questioned God, nobody questioned religion, nobody questioned patriarchy, nobody questioned state system, nobody questioned monarchy. So till 1300 AD, order was maintained. Okay, so that shows status quo was there. Okay, agreed. Suddenly, after 1300, what happened? What is this? This is the period of, what is this? This is the period of crisis. 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 crisis. Just like human body, when it is trying to grow, you will have some chemical and biological imbalances in your body. You will have. Okay. Society is also evolving. Somebody has questioned the whole ideological apparatus or the ideology of the state or the patriarchal or the any traditional social structure. All those things have been questioned now. So obviously society will also face anomaly crisis. Okay, so this is the phase of crisis. And if you remember, what was this phase? This was the phase of what we often call as intellectual ideas. Intellectual ideas were developing. Renaissance, scientific renaissance. Man was invented, and then man invented discoveries. Man invented many things which were turning out to be useful to explore the potential of man further and further, and even to question the existing order. Telescope was used to question church, by the way, indirectly. Okay, so intellectual ideas got developed. Okay, it created abnormalities, anomalies in the static system of society. Okay, so in the language of Auguste Comte, this phase, the status quo, is explained by social statics. Social statics. Positivism, according to Auguste Comte, has two branches. Social statics. कॉल करते हैं social statics, social dynamics. These are components of positivism. Till 1300 AD, status quo was maintained. Nobody questioned anything. This can be explained only through social statics. What is social statics? Social statics explains how structures are maintained. It is a part of positivism. It only explains how structures are maintained. Only this, nothing else. Okay? Only this, nothing else. Okay. And why social statics is there? Because there is a law again. And what is the name of the law? The name of law is law of coexistence. Okay, now we are going deep into positivism. Now you had till now rough idea about positivism. Now we are going deep. Okay, because syllabus demands. The name of part is positivism explicitly. So that is why we will go a bit deeper. Law of coexistence. Intellectual ideas happened. It created revolt. It created revolutions. It created intellectual mindset change. Everything happened. These structures, what were those structures? The structures of, if I were to explain structures here under social statics or under here only, okay, I would say the structures were patriarchy, monarchy, religion. Intellectual ideas came forward, questioned the social status quo, patriarchy, monarchy, religion. Okay. And slowly we entered into what we call as, क्या कर रहे हो? What we call as Enlightenment era. Slowly we entered into Enlightenment era. Okay, that was 1600 to 1800. Okay, 1600 to 1800. From 13 to 18, what is going on? Intellectual ideas. Change in mindset is happening. Okay. Now, what exactly happened? Auguste Comte will say, Auguste Comte will say, intellectual ideas actually disrupted social statics, and from here on, what got developed in the system? Social dynamics. Social dynamics. In the sense, wave of change have now prevailed over Europe. Wave of change is prevailing. Social dynamics, dynamic in the sense evolving. The way we speak about GS, it's very dynamic. Change होता रहता है, हाथ में ही नहीं आता हमारे. Okay, social dynamics. Everything has now started changing. In this period, metaphysical stage, we did not have pure scientific laws. Discoveries were being made, inventions were being made. Religion had not completely gone. Religious order was still there. Religion was still there. Church was still there. We were inventing things. We were discovering things, but we had not completely entered into scientific era. Okay, people were still Christian. People were still Jews, Muslims. In the sense, religion had not completely gone. Identity as a religion, religious man was still there. Okay. So what happened? In this era, again, we had a social statics. In the sense, until French Revolution happened, which clearly overthrew the system, Until then, again, it was a static period going on. Inventions हो रही हैं, discoveries हो रही हैं, exploration हो रहा है, cartography हो रहा है. Okay. Changes in bits and pieces, not revolutionary change. Okay. So 1300 to 1800, again social statics. Now French Revolution happened. Okay. French Revolution. Not just French, but also industrial, French and industrial revolutions. Basically, revolutions happened in the way we organize our economy, in the way we organize our thinking process. Everything had now got revolutionized. Okay. Industrial Revolution was 1750 onwards, French Revolution 1790 onwards. So 1800 onwards, everything had now started getting into order once again. Okay, although it was not very neat and clean, it is just a model. Just a model. We are drawing a model. Okay. What does it show? Again, it shows social dynamics. Social dynamics. The moment we entered into scientific era, where everything is governed by scientific laws, our thinking is also scientific temper has now started getting developed. Okay. Caste? No, caste does not exist. Caste wo khatam. After constitution, caste is over. Religion? No, secular. We are secular state. Patriarchy? Women empowerment. We are talking about patriarchy. Everything is over. Scientific age. It is just a model. I'm not saying whether these things are over or not. Okay. These people are only looking at society from top to bottom. They could only see breakdown of structures. They could not really see what individuals are doing now. Looking at society from top. Okay. So, again, social statics. These are the laws according to which society evolves. Now, is this natural evolution or social evolution? Obviously, it is natural evolution of society. Natural evolution of society. When society evolves naturally, it is governed by laws. Okay. No single individual can bring change. There has to be a wave. You cannot say Gandhi gave us freedom. You cannot say. So many people were involved in giving us freedom. Nehru, Patel, all those. क्या हो गया? समृद्धि सर नो क्या? नूतन स्टेज में. हाँ नूतन आगे बोलो. साइंटिफिक स्टेज में आगे क्या हो गया? साइंटिफिक एज में अच्छा नहीं. हाँ क्या हुआ है? सोशल स्टैटिक कैसे साइंटिफिक एज में? नो 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 नो. You are living in 2020. Okay. August count is not asking you. You are in 2020. That is why you are thinking how social static again. Evolution is natural. After dynamic, static has to come. Do you see revolutions happening now? Do you see revolutions happening now the way they used to happen? After French Revolution and Russian Revolution, do you remember any revolution happening? We study those revolutions in world history, they become part of history. Today we do not have revolutions. We have reforms, only reforms. Dalits are not getting Dalits are not getting represented in parliament. Okay, दलित पार्टी बना लेंगे. We'll form दलित political party. समाजवाद क्या ये बहुजन अपना समाजवादी पार्टी. Why to overthrow the constitution now? Let us use constitution only to empower ourselves. Social statics. Okay. Now you understand the laws. Okay. Fourth point. We have written 3 points so far. Now the fourth point. Okay. Positivism. Positivism, according to Comte, would help predict when societies will get back to social order. Fourth point. Okay. And no need to remember these points like by heart. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 में क्या था? 3 में ऐसे नहीं करना. Try to remember the essence. Understand the essence. August Comte himself never wrote like this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Try to understand essence only. August Comte once said, with science, comes prediction. With prediction comes action. If you have science or scientific knowledge, you can predict. If you can predict, you can act. See, I am a scientist in Indian Meteorological Department. I have just made a forecast and I'm telling to the people from Odisha, a great cyclone is going to come. Move away. With science comes prediction. With prediction comes action. I acted on this prediction and I saved the lives of people. August Comte is also making predictions. Just like Indian Meteorological Department scientists said, heavy cyclone is going to come. Okay. And if we act on time, we will be able to save this much of lives. Everything got in numbers. We had in numbers. If we, have this bigger plan, we will be able to save this much millions of lives. Everything was rationally calculated. Okay. August Comte says we can predict when poverty will get over in society. We can predict when inequalities will get over in society. We can predict when nation states will get over the period of war and they will get back to harmony and peace, full coexistence. We can predict when environmental degradation will stop and people will start becoming environmentalist. We can predict anything that you can expect us to do. This is the power of sociology. This is what Auguste Comte believed. Okay. He believed sociology possesses power of prediction that can help alleviate social ills. Okay. So this was all about positivism. And the last point and very important point, since it is believed just like nature, society also has laws. So just like we apply scientific method in the study of nature or universe, we would also apply scientific method to the study of society. Very simple. Right? Very simple. Next point. If we are applying scientific method to the study of nature, it is possible only, or it is very easy for us because we are simply collecting data. In the sense, we saw apples falling from the tree, data collected everywhere. Even in India, apple falls from the tree. Okay, generalization, universal fall of the body is there. Okay, bodies actually attract each other. Generalizations got developed. Okay, now apple cannot think. Apple cannot think. Let us now apply scientific method to social world. In social world, we also collect data and people are murdered. Just like apple fell, people got murdered or people are killed. Some are doing suicide, some are engaged in war, some are fighting, or some are having love, some are having marriage. All these are apples only. We are apples. Apple falling in love with apple. Apple falling from the floor, third floor. Okay, apple, apple, apple. We are apples. So let us try to apply the scientific method to the apples, because apples are governed by external law. Apples are governed in the nature by law of gravitation. These are also apples. They do not have any mind. Individuals are governed by external laws. Game over. Positivism over. Okay. Chalo. Okay. I'm not dictating you today anything, because you will get notes also. Okay. This is the essence of positivism. Okay. But in notes, I would recommend everyone to read notes, not rely only on classes, or not rely only on notes as well. Okay. You have to do both. You have to do both. You have no choice. There is one scholar, Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant. Someone asked him one day, Mr. Kant, can you please explain me what is enlightenment? Kant said in Latin, Sopre Yoda. Sopre Yoda in Latin, which means have courage to think with your own intelligence. This is what enlightenment is. You are not relied, or you're not relying on the religious priestly class telling you how to lead your lives in the on the earth. Have courage to think with your own intelligence, sopriode. This is what the motto of enlightenment is, according to Immanuel Kant. That person said, thank you, Kant. Now everything is clear. But today, what are we doing? We do not have courage to think with our own intelligence. Someone would recommend you, read this book. Okay, I will read. Someone will tell you, refer that topper. Yes, okay, I have made a book list. You will automatically realize all these things are waste. And also, also, with this comes the critique of positivism, which is very much in line with what I just told you guys. Okay, critique of positivism. Now, remember one thing. This was 2C. We are done with positivism. Okay. Now we have to read critique. But we have covered non-positivist methodologies. Which was what? A critique to positivism only. Okay? That was critique to positivism only. But remember one thing now. You can highlight this line that I'm going to write. When you see the word non-positivist methodology, remember this forever in your life. Even when you become IAS, remember this. Non-positivist methodology, singular methodology, singular. When you see singular, that means you have to write, or you have to remember Max Weber. When you see non-positivist methodologies, plural, okay, plural, then you have to write phenomenology, ethnomethodology, Symbolic interactionism, dramaturgy. With singular methodology, you have to write Max Weber social action. Only with social action theory, these theories got developed. But these are G's, and this is G. Okay? One is G, second is G's. And these G's are also called as anti-positivism. Anti-positivism. Okay. What is the basic difference between non-positivism and anti-positivism, sir? To be very honest, if you ask this question to any professor of sociology, they will not entertain your question because somehow they will feel that you do not know sociology. But since we are writing for an exam, UPSC exam, the basic thing that we should remember is that when you talk about non-positivism, only non-positivism, then where is this? Yes, only non-positivism. Then we would always acknowledge individual actions, but we would also acknowledge structures. Max Weber, what did he do? Did he reject marriage? No, he said individuals attach meaning to marriage. Structures were not rejected by Max Weber. But when you read phenomenology, ethnomethodology, they will say illusion. Marriage is illusion. Reject structure. Simply they reject structures. To simplify, to make it more simplified, let me make one flow chart. This will positivism, non-positivism, anti-positivism. Individuals, structures. Positivism. Individuals exist. Individuals exist for positivist? No. Okay. Structures exist? Yes. Non-positivism, Max Weber. Individuals exist? Of course, social action is study of meanings and motives of individuals. Structures exist? Yes. Only because of those meanings and motives that marriage as an institution could come into existence. Although whatever meanings and motives they attach to it, but marriage is there. Yes, marriage happened. Okay. Anti-positivism. Individuals exist? Very much. Only individuals exist. They are manipulative, highly active players. Structures exist? No. Everything is illusion. Okay. Now remember, if you tell someone nation is illusion, gender is illusion, that is not absolute truth. That is only perspective of anti-positivism that you are speaking. The other truth or the perspective is non-positivist, Max Weber, and positivism. To them, structures exist. Structures are governed by laws. So you would not ever reach the absolute reality. Okay. In a course of time, you will come to know whether nation is illusion or not. Okay. So, what I was saying is positivism is over. We were talking about critique. Non-positivist methodologies, over. It is a critique to positivism, of course, it is. Okay. But only writing this will not help you. You have to have multiple other theoretical perspectives also, otherwise how would you be different from rest? एक ये भी होता है. अच्छा. Now write down one is critical theory. It is given by Adorno and Horkheimer. Okay. Adorno, Horkheimer, not Jürgen Habermas or Alex Hinkels. Only Adorno and Horkheimer. These are the people who have given critical theory. Jürgen Habermas is a second generation critical theorist, not the first generation. Okay.